Welcome back, people of the Most High God, Jesus Christ. So today's message is going to be called, Artificial Intelligence, Life Given to the Image of the Beast. And so basically what we're going to discuss on, we're going to talk about, we're going to pull up all the scriptures to show that artificial intelligence is indeed this life given to the image of the beast. So yeah, this is gonna be a lecture about artificial intelligence and how it is the life given to the image of the beast. So with that being said, let's just have a quick discussion about how artificial intelligence is basically the link to tie everything into these future events or near future events, and how artificial intelligence is going to be the mechanism that speeds everything up to where the enemy wants to take everything. So if you think about everything that's going on right now, with CERN and and out in space with NASA and all of those type of things, everything that they can't solve on their own, now they're able to have artificial intelligence do it, because it can just, whatever the most unknown questions, artificial intelligence can just keep going and keep going until it finds the answer for it. So think about this: some of their deepest physics equations that man could never solve, artificial intelligence can solve these things, because it's just relentless. Like, it doesn't get tired. It can sit there and just think and think. So yeah, we're about to break this down. You see here, I got the board behind me. I'm gonna move out the way so hopefully you all can see the board. Let's see where we're going with this. Okay, well, we're gonna start off reading. We're gonna start off reading the verse. What was I just said? Okay. Revelation 13, verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay, so let me tell you, just using everything that I've learned and comparing it with the scriptures and everything, this system is going to be a artificial intelligence, omnipresence type of system, right? To where it's like Satan has eyes everywhere to know if you're not worshiping or not, right? So let's just go ahead and get into this message and break it down. So hopefully you all can see my board. I'll probably be in and out the camera to adjust until I get used to doing this. So hopefully you all can just see my head. Hopefully you all can see the words on this board. Let's see, can you all see that? Hold on, let me adjust. I don't know. I'm just have to tweak as I get used to this, doing this, cause I'm not, this is new to me. So look, okay, you got these verses on the board, right? Matthew 6:24. No man can serve two masters. Jeremiah 10:14. Every man is brutish in his own knowledge. Now we're going to break down that word brutish, right? this passage right here is basically an add-on to this, right? No man can serve two masters, right? Because look, when you serve God or Satan, right? And when and man on his own is brutish. You see that. Jeremiah 10:14. Every man is brutish in his own knowledge. Now, if you look at the definition of a brute, the definition of a brute is savage, violent person or animal. The second definition is an animal as opposed to a human being. So you see that, right? When man is in pursuit of his own knowledge, he becomes brutish. And when you're brutish, you're likened to an animal or a beast. Okay? So that's one thing to consider, right? Now, we're gonna go to Genesis, right? Go to Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, right? It says, God breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Okay? So, living soul, right? Living soul equals consciousness. Okay? Okay, let me just basically get to the point of this, right? The point of this, right? The point of this is to show you that artificial intelligence is, how can I break this down? The life, when God gave us life and breathed into our nostrils and we became a living soul, right? That means we became conscious, right? So artificial intelligence is our version of that. You see, artificial intelligence is man's breath of life, right? If you get what I'm saying. The same way God gave us our breath of life and we became animated, a living soul, that's the same thing that man is doing with this artificial intelligence, right? But think about it. Whenever man does something apart from God, right? Let's go back to her. No man can serve two masters, right? So, man in his own, when man given his own image, which is the image given without God, it's the image of a beast, right? Because if you go here, like I said, back to Jeremiah 10:14, every man is brutish in his own knowledge. The definition of a brute is a savagely violent person or animal. Second definition of a brute, an animal as opposed to a human being. So this is a beast. So in other words, every man is a beast in his own knowledge. You see that, right? I'm going somewhere with this, all right? Hold tight. So look, right? So by man doing the inventing and creating this artificial intelligence, right? Obviously, God is absent from this process, right? So when man thinks that he's doing something of his own will, he's doing what? No man can serve two masters. He's serving Satan, right? So, okay, now back to this, right? Okay, back to this. When God, okay, we are made in the image of God, right? But the image of God is, okay, when we say the image of God, right? We know we know that the image of God, of course, is basically the I mean, sentient life. You know, God is we are made after His likeness. He has a head, 2 arms, 2 legs, ears. I mean, we resemble Him, right? But we also resemble Him in thinking as well. Our creativity, our ability to process information, all these things are His image, right? So that's why another way that we are in His image, right, is He gave us consciousness. And God's consciousness given to man is the consciousness of man, but it is the image of God, right? So that's why I say that artificial intelligence is basically man's version of what God gave to him in the garden, which was his image and his consciousness, right? Okay, like I said, consciousness is the state of being awake and aware of surroundings. So that, you probably can't see any of this, but if you can, I'm pointing at consciousness, right? The definition is the state of being awake and aware of surroundings. That is the dictionary definition of consciousness. So let's see. Okay, right? So now we're gonna go to Job 39:17, right? And it's speaking about the ostrich, right? It says, because God deprived her of wisdom, neither hath He imparted to her understanding. So I put up that verse in Job 39:17 just to show you that God is the giver of consciousness. Every being on this that's created has a certain measure of intelligence given to them by God for their species. And God gave us His intelligence. Not, of course, we'll never be nowhere near as smart as God, but our creativity, He knows all things. That's why He gave us such a great capacity to learn. Okay, and another way I prove to you that we have God has given us consciousness as basically a sign of, basically as His image as well, is because, okay, on the Tower of Babel, right, in Genesis, right, when they was building it, God didn't say that they wouldn't be successful. He said that they have become as basically people have one language. They become as one mind. They are on one accord. He pretty much said that nothing they'll be able to do they'll be able to do anything they want to because of how they came together, right? So, and okay, another thing, right? And when they came together, what did they do, right? They pulled that infamous Isaiah 14:13. Satan trying to exalt his throne above the stars of God, right? So, yeah, let me tie this all this together. So basically, the breath of life, right, given to God by man, that made us who we are, gave us our consciousness and everything. Artificial intelligence is man trying to replicate that, right? That is what artificial intelligence is. It's man's version of consciousness, right? And if artificial intelligence is man's version of consciousness, right? And I told you right here that man without God, from Jeremiah 10:14, every man is brutish in his own knowledge, and a brute is a savagely violent person or animal, or an animal as opposed to a human being, right? Basically a beast, right? So why not think that, okay, right? Okay, look. Every man is brutish in his own knowledge, right? If a brutish man gives his version of consciousness to a machine, is that not the image of the beast? That's basically my point. The image of the beast is the image of man trying to play God. Like I said, man is brutish in his own knowledge, right? So if man is brutish in his own knowledge and he tries to make a form of consciousness in the image of this brute, then that is the image of a beast, right? Because we all know that the Antichrist is going to be a man but become a beast, right? That's something to think about. The beast is basically man without God. So the image of that beast is the image of man. So in the life given to that image is basically, well, not basically exactly, well, of course not exactly, but it's going to be a replication of what God gave us. But of course it's going to be tainted and perverted, right? Think of that new, what's that movie, Prometheus or Aliens, whatever, with that dude with that android, whatever he was. I mean, he was crazy. He was experimenting on people and stuff. Think of that. That's the goal right there, right? So, you know, hopefully this wasn't too ghetto of a presentation. I'm gonna work on getting better at this and making sure that you all can be able to see. So, yeah. So, hopefully that was helpful. Be blessed in Jesus' name. Amen.